The aloof academic prodigy who had dominated the top spot for years was finally dethroned by a girl. She wasn't academically gifted, but adorable and clingy. I was thrilled. Don't get me wrong, I'm not that girl. I'm the perpetual runner-up. My chance had arrived. Thank you for watching. Your support keeps these stories coming. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe for more captivating tales. What story should we tell next? Let us know below. Chapter 1. Lucas has been walking to school with Sophia lately. No way. Did the genius really fall for the slacker? I straightened up in the deserted corner, ears straining as the gossiping girls passed by the hallway. Seriously. Lucas seems distracted in class these days. I pushed away the boy before me, coolly redoing my ponytail. What's the matter? Ethan grabbed my wrist, irritation flashing across his features. You always ditch me like this? I tapped my watch. 10 minutes are up. I've got class. Come on, Olivia. Ethan grumbled, his grip tightening. I tolerated the whole secret relationship thing, but now I have to schedule appointments to see my own girlfriend? Ignoring him, I moved to leave. His arms snaked around my waist, voice turning wheedling. 5 more minutes? The puppy dog act contrasted sharply with his usual swagger during cafeteria brawls. I remained unmoved. He was merely my stress relief tool. Not interfering with my studies is the bottom line. Keep this up and we're through. His jaw tightened, crushing our lips together in a bruising kiss. He growled, "Don't say those words." After muttering curses, he released me with reluctant obedience. On my way back to class, I nearly collided with Lucas. His clear gaze lingered fleetingly on my unbuttoned collar before flicking away. "Your button," he stated in that crystalline voice. "Thanks." By the time I looked up, he'd already disappeared into the classroom. Taciturn, elusive, a logical mind encased in self-restraint. Our homeroom teacher once told me, it's natural for girls to struggle keeping up with boys academically. Some boys grasp concepts effortlessly while girls must grind endlessly. My diligence was dismissed as the slow bird starting early. Meanwhile, Lucas's casual brilliance perpetually overshadowed my efforts. His name eternally above mine on rankings fueled my resolve. I would drag him down from that pedestal. Lucas and I were childhood acquaintances. Not the romantic kind. Just neighbors. Currently, through my bedroom window, I watched Sophia clutching homemade cookies at the grand's doorstep. He emerged freshly showered, damp hair glinting like moonlit sycamores in midsummer. Unaware of his own allure, he stood there, temptation incarnate wrapped in adolescent awkwardness. Sophia flushed crimson, stammering something as she offered the treat. Their murmured exchange carried faintly through the summer breeze. Lucas might seem aloof and hard to approach, but he's actually a manipulative player who enjoys keeping multiple girls on the hook. Having grown up basking in constant admiration, he's fully aware of his charms and gets off on watching ordinary girls fawn over him. I finished 2 practice tests. Sophia was heading home, lingering at the doorway with repeated backward glances. Lucas stood under the street lamp, watching her disappear around the corner. Pulling out my error log, I started reviewing mistakes when our eyes accidentally met through my window. He smirked, suddenly intrigued, and began leisurely eating handmade cookies under the amber glow. Those lazy eyes stayed fixed on me as summer heat carried the rustle of my window fern. His shadow stretched across my desk from the streetlight. I finally shut the window on his voyeuristic game. When monthly exams rolled around, rumors about Lucas and Sophia multiplied. Every time she visited our classroom, guys would pound desks and chant Sophia's here for her man. The boldest would yell, "Lucas, your girlfriend's waiting," making Sophia blush and flee while Lucas never bothered denying it. Stuck by the entrance, I became unwilling audience to their drama. One afternoon during vocabulary drills, the usual commotion erupted behind me. Desk slamming and chair scraping grated my nerves until I snapped. Shut up already. The room froze. Sophia stood trembling like a startled rabbit, tearfully apologizing. Before I could explain, I wasn't mad at her. Some dude sneered. Chill out, Einstein. It's break time, not like you're topping the class anyway. Jealous much? His friend taunted. Mad because Lucas would never pick a study drone like you? My eyes locked with Lucas' icy gaze. Of course he'd stand there watching, entertained by the chaos he caused. Seriously? I scoffed at the instigator. What's your deal? Never seen a relationship before, or just jealous you can't get one? The boy flushed crimson, stammering. I wasn't that excited. I arched an eyebrow. No need to be shy. If you're into it, we could give it a try. His ears burned scarlet as he gaped at me speechlessly. Lucas frowned slightly, opening his mouth to speak when I spun back to my seat, snapping open my vocabulary notebook. I shoved earbuds in and resumed memorizing. Midterms descended like a storm. For weeks I'd been solving equations in my sleep. During the final math exam, Lucas left early, unusual for him, especially with those brutal calculus problems. His gaze lingered on me as he exited, finding me scribbling furiously through the last two proofs. Difficult, but solvable. Afterwards, Lucas vanished into physics competition training camp. Sophia stopped haunting our hallway. Summer thunderstorms became my new commute companions until that rainy alleyway encounter. Ethan leaned against graffiti-smeared bricks, smirk plastered across his sharp features as he toyed with his sparring partner. His roundhouse kicks had gained precision, probably leveled up his taekwondo again. I barely glanced over. English listening exercises drowning out the scuffle. Shit! The curse snapped my focus as calloused hands yanked me into shadowed concrete. His palm burned against my lips, rainwater dripping from loose hair strands onto his skin. He jerked back like scalded. Control yourself, I said, tucking damp locks behind ears. You start fires but never put them out. His cocky grin returned. Typical rules for thee but not for me crap. I checked my watch. Make it quick. Class starts in 7 minutes. Why were you ignoring my texts? Aw. The black belt announcement. Midterms. You still should've. My eyes caught the blood smear near his temple. He rubbed it carelessly. Not mine. Clean up before hugging me next time. I turned away. You're filthy. His grip loosened instantly, all earlier swagger dissolving. Can't spare 10 minutes anymore? Stop clinging. I'm busy. The irony wasn't lost. Minutes earlier he'd been dismantling opponents with cold efficiency, now reduced to this puppy-eyed persistence. He whined. Do you not like me anymore? I'll like you more if you spend time studying. I checked my watch. Class was about to start. Be good, okay? I rose on tiptoes to brush his lips. He released me obediently, but as I turned to leave, how easily young men are fooled. His arms encircled me again. Thunder cracked at the alley entrance as rain began pelting down, mirroring the stormy intensity of his kiss. Beyond our shelter, students' chatter mingled with bicycle bells. His Adam's apple bobbed while his gaze alternated between smoldering flames and tender drizzle. The sultry summer storm made every breath feel illicit. Suddenly I understood his earlier muttered curse. This weather truly was an accomplice to mischief. I need to get to class, I said, voice unsteady. His low chuckle vibrated against me. What's so funny? I rarely used this mollifying tone. If you really want to leave, he murmured. You shouldn't sound like that. The downpour hummed with temptation. Academic priorities prevailed. Don't you have that competition soon? I deflected. Hadn't he mentioned something about 2:30 p.m.? His eyes lit up. If I win first prize, you'll spend the whole weekend with me? Deal. No takebacks. Cheat me and you'll forfeit your entire summer. Midterm results arrived. 1 point separated Lucas and me. I ranked first. Him second. The bulletin board buzzed with whispers. Since when does the genius place runner-up? Unprecedented. In the faculty office. My math teacher praised. You alone solved the final problem. Passing students stared. Did Lucas fail? I blurted. The teacher scowled. He left 2 major questions blank. Submitted early too. Shaking her head, she added. Remarkable though, that score despite the omissions. Her glasses glinted sharply. This proves my point, some boys aren't incapable. Just complacent. Blink and they overtake you. Clutching my test. I exited to find Lucas surrounded by teammates in the corridor. Physics competitions in the bag. Lucas has this. Our eyes met briefly as he towered above the crowd. I averted my gaze, retreating to my empty classroom where sunset painted deserted desks gold. First place. The coveted top spot I'd been obsessing over. I packed my textbooks and shoved test papers into my backpack. My pencil case clattered to the floor, scattering supplies everywhere. A stubborn cap refused to be found. Crouching lower, frustration burned hotter with each futile search. He'd claimed victory so effortlessly, never even considering me competition. Don't cry now. A cool voice sliced through the tension. I whirled around, knees slamming into the desk behind me. Lucas leaned against the classroom doorway, casually retrieving the missing cap from near his shoe before placing it on my desk with deliberate precision. Didn't I let you take first? His eyebrows arched mockingly as he studied me. I grabbed my backpack, refusing to engage. His hand snapped out, fingers locking around my wrist to yank me forward. Momentum carried me toward the faint cedar scent clinging to his sweater, my forehead accidentally smashing his jaw. Ouch! He hissed through a suppressed laugh, steadying me by the waist. Holding grudges. Olivia? Let go. I glared up at him. Olivia. His voice dropped. You're into me. I twisted against his grip. Delusional much? Then why duel me for valedictorian? Since when does ambition equal a crush? Doesn't it? His smirk widened like he was teasing a stubborn kitten. What gave him this god complex? Did he think every girl dreamed of being another trophy in his harem? I scoffed. Sure. I'm obsessed with whoever tops the rankings. Better keep that crown glued to your head. He released me with a scoff. Like that's hard. The physics Olympiad results exploded across campus like a grenade. Lucas, the undisputed favorite, got dethroned. The guaranteed Tsinghua admission slot went to the dark horse nobody saw coming. I squeezed through the mob surrounding the bulletin board, yanking out my earbuds mid-English podcast. My eyes scanned the name. Ethan. Familiar. Oh, the notorious troublemaker. No way. Brooks? The guy who hospitalized 3 seniors last semester? Shut up, he'll hear you. The classroom erupted in frenzied whispers until Lucas entered. Instant silence. This was how gods fell. He appeared calm and indifferent, sitting there casually flipping through his desk neighbor's comic. But I knew him too well. The more he cared, the harder he pretended. His entire family had booked banquet halls for his supposedly guaranteed college admission celebration. He'd never even considered failure. Lucas. Sophia is looking for you. A boy called from the doorway. Lucas glanced over, irritation flashing beneath his composed mask. He stopped behind my desk. What? Sophia produced a snack bag. Don't be upset. Lucas. I brought you these. Her voice carried in the sudden classroom hush, drawing curious glances from front row students. Who's upset? His smile didn't reach his eyes. Why would I be upset? Please don't be angry. Her eyes welled up instantly. That admission wasn't even that impressive. Angry? His icy tone contradicted the forced grin, making Sophia's tears spill over. I didn't mean, they keep saying I distract you from studying. But I know how hard you worked. Her voice rose hysterically. All those sleepless nights preparing for the physics competition. We all thought you'd. Could you keep it down? The same guy who'd teased us before suddenly interrupted, cheeks flushing as he glanced at me. Some of us are trying to study here. I flipped to a new test page without turning around. Lucas studied me intently, as if seeing me properly for the first time. The bell rang for gym class. You know Ethan? Lucas blocked my path when the room emptied. Don't know him. I kept adjusting my headphones, refusing eye contact. Olivia. He caught my arm. This was just bad luck. What's that to me? Ethan's mother chairs MIT's physics department. Getting insider questions would be. Can't lose gracefully? I raised an eyebrow. Relax. Lucas. It's okay to feel scared. Fear, that's what truly fueled him. Not anger, but terror of being dethroned. Why defend him so fiercely? His sneer cracked. Think some scholarship kid could ever measure up to. The absurdity made me laugh aloud. I walked toward the field without another word, his burning gaze following me down the hallway. Lucas thought he had struck a nerve, clearly relishing this chance to tear me down. He trailed behind me, tossing out remarks like his family's loaded. Yours? Not so much. And you really think he'd go for an Ice Queen bookworm like you? Summer breeze rustled through poplar trees lining the corridor as we passed classroom 1, where their homeroom teacher was lecturing Ethan, who leaned against the wall in detention. Skipping class is one thing, but organizing fights with rival schools? Too much testosterone. Huh? Wasn't my fight. Ethan countered, his 6'2" frame failing to contain that feral glint in his eyes. Just happened by. They bolted when they saw me. Enough. The teacher threw up his hands. What about the flag-raising ceremony speech? Prepared yet? Pass. Sounds tedious. This is an honor. The teacher stomped his loafers. Sharing your competition-winning strategies with the whole school. Ethan slouched against the wall through the lecture, long lashes casting shadows over eyes that somehow still smoldered when he wasn't even smiling. Girls at the windows kept stealing glances until his gaze unexpectedly locked onto Lucas and me down the hallway. His cocky smirk dissolved into a petulant pout. The teacher followed his stare and barked, "You too. Stop loitering." I turned away from Ethan's sulking face without acknowledgement, heading for the field. Does Ethan even have a girlfriend? Doubt it. Standard sky high plus that temper? Emma. You grew up with him. Spill the tea. The girls' restroom chatter died as I entered. School beauty Emma stood at the sinks, tucking a strand of honey blonde hair behind her ear. Don't spread rumors. She demurred. We're keeping it private. No way. You're actually dating him? The squeal echoed off tiles. Excuse me. I reached for the faucet. Emma shifted barely an inch, forcing me to awkwardly angle my hands under the stream. Watch it! She snapped when water droplets hit her designer jeans. Blind much? I dried my hands methodically. Says the human roadblock who'd rather huff toilet fumes than move 2 steps. You. She lunged, but her friends held her back. Ignore her. One clique member sneered. Jealous bitches gonna hate. Emma's glare melted into pitying superiority. I left without engaging. Arguing with airheads wasted study time. Back in class. Our PE rep shouted over the chaos, track meet signups. Who's taking the 3-kilometer? No volunteers for the midday torture run. Fine. I'll pick. His eyes landed on Lucas. Grant. You in? This guy wasn't cut out for physical labor. A total homebody who couldn't even be bothered to walk downstairs. Sure enough. His expression darkened instantly. Lips pressed into a thin line. The frustrated PE monitor complained. Class 1 has Ethan running the 3K. That guy's a straight-A athlete. Can't we get some enthusiasm here? Obviously he'll take first place. Who could possibly compete with? I can. Lucas's calm voice cut through the chatter. It's just 3 kilometers. The monitor lit up like a Christmas tree. That's our genius, Lucas. Class 1 can suck it. The whole class erupted in cheers. Lucas simply smiled, clearly enjoying the attention. His gaze accidentally landed on me before darting away. On the day of the track meet, the noon sun beat down mercilessly. The field swarmed with spectators, especially girls. The PA system blared. Non-participants must clear the track immediately. Our class's star athlete Lucas stood near the starting line surrounded by classmates, casually sipping water. He'd spent every night this week sprinting around the neighborhood until even the local dogs recognized his footsteps, barking wildly at his shadow. Think you've got this, Lucas? Someone called out. He rolled his eyes, prompting another student to joke. This is Lucas freaking Grant. He'll make that class 1 pretty boy cry for his mommy. Snapping his water bottle shut with a smirk, Lucas shrugged. It's just a race. Didn't even train. I sat in the shaded supply tent filling out worksheets, occasionally handing out water bottles and snacks. Suddenly Lucas stalked over, all eyes following as he dumped his Letterman jacket across my papers with a dramatic thud. I glared up at him. Quit pretending to study, he said with that infuriating golden boy smirk. Watch the damn race. He strutted toward the track without looking back. My eyes drifted to the center of the field where Ethan stood head and shoulders above the crowd. His sweatband pushed back jet black hair, sharpening his already striking features. Sunlight haloed his defiant profile as he coldly rejected water offered by Emma. His scanning gaze locked onto our class tent, first finding Lucas, then me. His jaw tightened when he saw us together, nostrils flaring before he dramatically turned away. Runners took their marks. Lucas shot Ethan a sidelong glance that went completely ignored. Bang! They settled into matching paces mid-pack. By the 5th lap, only 2 figures remained, Lucas breathing heavily but determined, Ethan cruising like he was on a Sunday stroll. Our class chanted until hoarse, Lucas. Lucas. Lucas kept stealing glances at his rival. Ethan maintained effortless rhythm, not a hair out of place. The finish line loomed. On the final lap and a half, Lucas began pushing hard, sprinting under the blazing sun with his face contorted. He ignored the growing cheers from our class. With 1 lap remaining, he finally pulled ahead of Ethan, gasping for air as he desperately charged toward the finish line. Meanwhile, Ethan kept jogging leisurely, scanning our class tent with that innocent sunshine smile until I mouthed hurry up at him. Half a lap left. Lucas grinned when he saw the finish line approaching, even throwing a glance backward with his usual composure. That's when Ethan rocketed past him like a missile, crossing the line in a blur. Whoa! Ethan takes first. The guys from our class started clapping. Dude didn't even break a sweat against Lucas. Total domination. Teacher! Lucas collapsed. Everyone turned to see Lucas crumpled on the scorching track at noon. Our homeroom teacher pointed urgently at me. Sophia. Water, now. Where's my jersey? Lucas rasped later in the infirmary. I looked up from my calculus worksheet. No idea. Truth was, he'd tossed it over my problem set earlier. I'd shoved it somewhere without caring. He turned away, sulking. Schools shouldn't make people run 3 kilometers at noon. Even athletes get heat stroke. Not heat stroke. I snapped my textbook shut. The nurse said you passed out from pushing too hard after being sedentary. His pale neck flushed pink. Why are you here anyway? Everyone else went to lunch. I'm on support duty. Stop lying. He muttered, voice low. You were worried. Delusional. I just wanted air conditioning and quiet for my practice tests without looking antisocial. Playing the helpful classmate beats getting dragged into group bathroom breaks. But since I'm stuck here, how do you solve this? I pointed at a complex calculus proof. My method's inefficient. The charged atmosphere evaporated. He glared at the problem. My head hurts. Fine. I started packing up. But he grabbed my wrist. Sunlight blazed through the window, igniting his frost-gray eyes. Try drawing the auxiliary line differently. I had Lucas walk me through several exam papers. It's no wonder Lucas consistently ranked first. His problem-solving approach was far more systematic than mine, zeroing in on key concepts with surgical precision. He coughed weakly while explaining the final question. Thanks, I said sincerely, glancing at my watch. Almost 2 p.m. Since I wasn't on afternoon event duty, I needed to get home from my online lecture. He watched me gather my things, then blurted out hoarsely, I'm starving, the uncharacteristic vulnerability in his tone freezing my movements. I slung my backpack over one shoulder. Sophia went to get your lunch. The words left him speechless, his usual sharp comebacks failing him. Olivia, he finally said, studying me with unsettling intensity. You're remarkably perceptive. I know. His gaze didn't waver. If you ever need help with practice questions. Another coughing fit interrupted him, this time accompanied by accusatory side eyes as if I'd caused his flu. My hand hovered on the infirmary doorknob. Really? Thanks for today. Get some rest. Olivia. His voice halted me. What if I? The door burst open with a whoosh, slamming me into a broad chest that smelled faintly of sandalwood and frost. Ethan steadied me automatically, his hands lingering at my waist for half a heartbeat before recoiling like he'd been burned. His glacial stare swept over Lucas's pale face before he began rummaging through medicine cabinets with violent precision. Trouble. Major pissed-off vibes. But my calculus module started in 18 minutes. Sorry. Boy drama, AP prep trumps everything. Later. Emma. Your Ethan's giving the flag ceremony speech today. A cluster of girls giggled behind us during morning assembly. Keep it down. Emma preened, adjusting her cheerleader pin. He hates public displays. I kept flipping through vocabulary cards until Lucas's whisper ghosted over my shoulder. Hear that? He's taken. I turned. You into him? He recoiled like I'd sprayed him with bleach. The hell? If not, then it's none of your damn business. Lucas's tone turned sharp. Nothing. Just a friendly reminder not to chase hopeless things. After the principal's speech, the dean signaled Ethan to take the podium. The moment the school's notorious troublemaker turned dark horse stepped up, every drifting gaze in the audience snapped into focus. Everyone buzzed with curiosity about this cocky guy who'd kicked the top student's ass academically. What could he possibly say? Hi everyone. I'm Ethan. Before he finished, rowdy cheers erupted from the back of Class 1. The dean shot daggers their way while the homeroom teacher hissed at them to quiet down. Ethan flashed his signature rebel grin, oozing the kind of charm that made girls swoon as he addressed the whole school without hesitation. My homeroom teacher wanted me to share competition strategies. He leaned into the mic. But let's be real, my methods aren't exactly textbook. You all know how I usually roll. Though she did say I could talk about motivation. He paused, smirk fading. Truth is, physics never interested me. I don't really have hobbies. The crowd held its breath. Except Olivia. My heart lurched. Head swiveled as my name reverberated through stadium speakers across the quad. Students froze mid-whisper. Teachers gaped. The elderly principal squinted in confusion. But her only passion is studying. The only way I get to see her weekends is by acing exams. His voice dropped, hypnotic and resolute, weaving my name into the autumn air until it circled back to pierce my chest. The quad exploded. Who's Olivia? Rippled through the crowd until hundreds of eyes found me like homing missiles. Pointing fingers. Burning stares. Cut the mic! The dean scrambled on stage, flailing as he yanked Ethan away. Nearby, Emma and Lucas exchanged identical scowls. Isn't Ethan supposed to be a classmate began? Only to be cut off by Emma's venomous glare. Shut up before you get us demerits. As dismissal orders rang out, the dean cornered Ethan under poplar trees. What's this passion for Olivia nonsense? Are you two dating? Nah. I'm just crushing. She's married to her textbooks. Don't you dare distract that girl from her studies. The dean rapped Ethan's skull. Wouldn't dream of it. She's terrifying. On our way back to class, Lucas brushed past me sneering. If you changed math formulas as fast as you switch crushes, you'd actually keep first place. 2 weeks of ignoring Ethan. He'd erupted into my calm existence like a supervolcano, his notoriety dragging me into the spotlight. Yet I'd mastered the art of tuning out gossip. My real reason for avoidance? Midterms loomed. Some female students, our homeroom teacher drawled during lecture, waste time fooling around, forgetting their playmates have Ivy League tickets. Meanwhile, they'll end up with nothing. Her eyes stabbed my direction. Miracles don't strike twice. Better start praying. Front row gossips swiveled to watch me squirm. When the bell rang, Lucas paused by my desk with false sweetness. Relax. You'll still be number one. I looked up at him in confusion. He wore that infuriatingly confident expression again. On the day of the monthly exam, everything became clear. Just like last time, Lucas turned in his paper early with 2 questions unanswered, still trying to throw me the first place. But this time, things didn't go according to his plan, though I still took first while he remained second. The gap shocked everyone. Instead of the single-point difference from last time, I outscored him by 35 points. Even if he'd answered those last 2 questions perfectly, I'd still have beaten him by 3 points. My undisputed victory made his strategic blank answers look utterly ridiculous. Impressive improvement, our homeroom teacher praised, though she added, but remember, Lucas hasn't even started trying yet. When he does, you'll see what real competition looks like. Keep working. As I returned to class with my test, I found Lucas lingering by the doorway where Sophia stood tearfully confronting him. I saw Chloe bringing you water yesterday. She sniffled. You think she's better than me, don't you? Chloe being the aggressively pursuing underclassman with her saccharine sweet and naive act. Lucas shook off her grip impatiently. Since when do you police who brings me drinks? I might not be as pretty, but haven't you seen how much I care? Sophia's voice trembled. Pathetic. Affection is the most replaceable currency with guys like Lucas. Born with silver spoons and endless admirers. They never value what comes too easily. I tried to slip past them, but Lucas caught my arm. Not bad. He nodded at my test. That habitual condescension dripping from his words. Always needing to pass judgment. As if his approval somehow validated my achievements. None of your damn business. I jerked free. His attention shifted entirely to me now. Abandoning the weeping girl by the door. Classic Lucas, the less you care, the more he pesters. What a joke. Don't get cocky. He smirked. Might not go easy next time. Later that night, I'd just finished another practice test when a pebble tapped my window. Irritated, I threw open the sash ready to yell at neighborhood kids, only to find Ethan standing below. The Brooks heir looked up through the summer haze. His sharp features softened by the gauze covering one eye, a wounded puppy act that didn't fool me. Doesn't hurt at all, does it? I called down, remembering how he'd shrugged off actual injuries during taekwondo matches. Before he could reply, I grabbed a jacket. Mom! Running out for a package. The door slammed behind me as I raced downstairs in pajamas. Got into another fight? My fingers brushed his bandage, but he caught my hand instead. He pulled me into his embrace. The oversized black hoodie carried a faint scent of cool sandalwood that grew more intoxicating in the summer night air. I have exams coming up. We shouldn't see each other for a while. I pushed against his chest. I don't want to hear it. My eye hurts. Woo-woo, his whining always meant trouble. Rising on tiptoes, I pretended to kiss him. Lucas blinked expectantly, those starry eyes waiting for my next move. Seizing my chance, I flicked the loose medical patch. The gauze fluttered to the ground, exposing his perfectly healthy right eye. "You fraud," I accused. "You started it with that fake out." Lucas protested, cradling my face to claim the kiss he'd been anticipating. He didn't let go until we were both breathless. "I was fine all along," I gasped. "Grant passed out after the 3-kilometer run last month, coughing like some Victorian consumptive," he grumbled. "If that drama queen can milk sympathy, why can't I?" "You're still hung up on that?" "I was just doing first aid duty," Ethan nodded bitterly. "Later I convinced myself you were rushing home to study." His muttering continued, something about always losing to textbooks in the battle for your attention. The summer breeze carried the rustle of leaves as our shadows merged and separated on the moonlit wall. "Spend this weekend with me," he pleaded. "Ethan, you're already admitted to MIT. I'm still grinding for applications," I stated bluntly. He draped himself over my shoulders like a human scarf. "I'll be your study buddy, quiet as a mouse. Tutor you in calculus. You'll be bored stiff. Never. Just seeing you." Our weekend plans kept getting postponed until that Saturday morning at the subway station. "Let's hit the library. I need to review." I adjusted my backpack. "Too crowded." "My place?" He shouldered my bag, amusement crinkling his eyes at my wary look. "Mom's home." The Brooks family estate sprawled before us, his mother waiting at the door. "Why are you here?" Ethan groaned upon seeing her. "This must be Olivia." Mrs. Brooks' raven hair cascaded over her shoulders, her smile radiating old money elegance. Several white-haired academics peered from the living room. I later learned they were Nobel laureates visiting for tea. "Don't interrogate her," Ethan warned, disappearing toward the kitchen. Mrs. Brooks leaned closer. "What do you like about my Ethan?" "Handsome. Obedient. Shockingly fit for a STEM nerd." I settled on his academic drive. "Sweetheart. His achievements are his own." She chuckled, patting my hand. "If that boy ever distracts you from your goals, dump him immediately. Future first. Always." Ethan's bedroom resembled a luxury penthouse, the balcony framing distant azure mountains. His king-sized bed sat beside floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, a NASA-themed quilt clashing wonderfully with the antique walnut desk. A framed photo of us at robotics competition caught my eye, his gangly arms around me as we hoisted a trophy. "Made you hot chocolate," he announced, setting down 2 mugs. "The 72% cacao kind you like." We settled into his plush window seat. Instead of textbooks, Ethan produced a leather journal filled with architectural sketches. "For our future home," he murmured, tracing a sunlit reading nook beside a proposed greenhouse. "Plenty of space for your plant experiments." My fingers lingered over a detailed treehouse design. "Remember our senior prank? When we turned the football field into giant twister board?" Principal Harris still twitches at the mention of washable paint. He grinned, stealing a chocolate-dipped strawberry from my snack bag. The afternoon sun gilded his profile as he explained his blueprints, passion transforming each technical term into poetry. By dusk, we'd covered his floor in graph paper, debating rooftop garden layouts. Mrs. Brooks found us arguing over solar panel angles, my hair peppered with eraser shreds. "Dinner's ready. You two geniuses." She laughed, snapping photos of our makeshift war room. Later, walking me home under street lamp constellations, Ethan squeezed my hand. "Today was nice. Different. Not bored?" "Never." His smile held the warmth of 1,000 library study sessions. All those silent hours building something deeper than words. The future stretched before us, not just his meticulously planned blueprints, but the uncharted spaces between, waiting to be filled. The walls were lined with physics textbooks. Black boxing gloves scattered across the floor. My parents started teaching me physics when I was 3. Ethan explained, gesturing at the shelves. I'd ask about those books and journals whenever I didn't understand. Gradually things started making sense. His competition wins and guaranteed admission weren't underdog stories, more like hidden talent finally surfacing. Why are you so obsessed with being top-ranked? Ethan asked me. Because it feels damn good. Pure competitive drive. In this tiny world between school and home, arbitrary rules and unspoken biases thrived. People slapped labels on me effortlessly. Growing up invisible for not being pretty enough, eloquent enough, brilliant enough. Take Lucas. But I refused that fate. Call me the girl who can't keep up with boys in STEM or the hard worker without real smarts, whatever. I wanted that #1 spot not for praise, but to force their eyes open. Every day my name stayed atop that ranking proved how small their prejudices were. I don't get it. Ethan frowned. Disarmingly honest. Aren't you still seeking validation? Making them acknowledge your worth? Exams are unpredictable. If you bomb the SAT tomorrow, does that erase everything you are? His confusion made sense. His parents celebrated every version of him: the debate champ, the garage band drummer, the kid who rebuilt motorcycle engines. Financial security let him explore freely. Mine? They never taught me physics at 3. Between double shifts. Checking my homework exhausted them. Like my teachers. They measured worth society's way: grades, rankings, tangible results. Olivia. Ethan flipped through a quantum mechanics text. Have you ever just enjoyed learning? Not for outcomes, but that rush when your brain cracks a tough problem? Evening winds swept through the valley as I worked through practice tests. True to his word, Ethan didn't disturb me, just napped peacefully. Hair tousled against the sofa. Commotion from downstairs caught my attention later. The living room buzzed with students debating over notebooks. A plain-looking upper-class woman held court, dismantling counterarguments with luminous confidence. Their discussion soared beyond my comprehension, yet utterly fascinating. Want some soup? Mrs. Brooks appeared beside me on the stairs, offering chicken broth steaming with ginseng. Thank you. The savory warmth spread through me. Enjoying the intellectual circus? She smiled. Yeah. Everyone here, they glow. I like that fire in you, she said unexpectedly. That refusal to let anyone dictate how you shine. First praise that didn't feel condescending. Not some patronizing pat on the head, but recognition from someone who'd fought her own battles. Her eyes held the same intensity as Ethan's when he talked about gravitational waves. The admiration radiating from her was genuine and heartfelt. I couldn't help but envy Ethan, having grown up in such an environment. When I advise you to prioritize your future, it's not because I think you're distracting Ethan, his mother said, patting my head. I'm worried he might hold you back. Losing a relationship is nothing compared to missing your chance to shine. Promise me, she continued, if he ever conflicts with your aspirations, you'll choose yourself without hesitation. Okay. Where've you been? Your brother said you've been out all day. You didn't even make dinner. My mother started scolding the moment I walked through the door. Though my brother was only a year younger, all household chores fell on me. Can't he use his own hands? I shouted back before slamming my bedroom door. Her nagging continued, but faded when I put on headphones, spreading practice tests across my desk. I rediscovered snacks Ethan had stuffed into my backpack. My mistake notebook revealed pencil annotations everywhere, concise explanations Ethan must have added during my bathroom breaks. His notes untangled concepts I'd struggled with, using straightforward language. On the final page, he'd drawn an angry cartoon dog labeled Grumpy Pawchaw with a note, ask me if confused. A note talking to Lucas. The crude sketch made me smile despite its messiness. During finals week, Lucas approached me pre-exam. I'm not holding back this time. His mercy no longer mattered. I stopped viewing him as competition weeks ago. My real opponent was my own potential. Without responding, I walked into the testing hall clutching my admission ticket. When rankings posted, my name topped the pink bulletin board where Ethan's physics competition results once hung. I'd outpaced Lucas by nearly 50 points. Distracted by Sophia, our advisor lectured Lucas in the faculty office. "Look at Olivia. She couldn't touch her heels before. Now you can't even see her dust." The teacher adjusted his glasses. "Natural talent isn't enough. True achievers work diligently." I passed them to consult the English teacher about grammar, returning to find Lucas lingering by my desk after class. "Happy now?" he sneered. "Got your precious first place." "Ecstatic," I answered calmly. Humans are strange. I'd once cried over his condescension, exhausting myself to catch him. Now that our positions reversed, I felt nothing. The mountains I'd struggled to cross were already behind me. Lucas never surpassed me again. By graduation, I'd left him far behind. My photo joining Ethan's on the honor roll. Ethan told me to remember to raise my left hand and form a heart shape when taking the photo. I thought it was embarrassing and refused. So in the end, the honor roll picture showed him making a single-handed heart gesture toward the right while I stood stone-faced on his right side. He stayed pissed for a whole week before finally cracking and wanting to talk again. He forgave me first anyway, marching to the display board to draw a left-facing heart with a marker under my photo. "Could you stop being so childish? You're corrupting the honor students." During the graduation ceremony, the dean publicly dragged him out, ordering him to scrub it off with a bucket. Underclassmen passing by had all heard about his legendary antics on the football field and stopped to watch. "I always knew you had it in you." My advisor patted my shoulder, beaming. "You're the hardest worker in our class." I smiled without answering, accepting my file folder. "Didn't I warn you about high school dating?" The teacher at the adjacent desk sighed, lecturing the tearful Sophia. "Now Lucas gets into Peking University while you're stuck repeating senior year." Sophia glanced up at me before lowering her head. Lucas's college entrance exam scores had been consistently stable, true to his usual performance. He remained exactly who he'd always been. But I was no longer the same person. I was the one who'd improved, who'd surpassed myself. Walking out of the office, I leaned against the corridor railing watching Ethan scrub the display board by the gates. He crouched low yet kept his posture upright, strands of hair catching the early summer breeze as sunlight filtered through. A group of guys horsed around with him, jokingly pointing at the board. Wherever he went, he commanded attention. It was hard to believe this cocky teen had once been the blushing mess I'd slowly taught how to kiss. His pale skin flushing crimson with each hesitant move. "You were the one who corrupted me first," he muttered, rinsing the bucket at the backfield faucet. Sunlight rippled across the water like liquid gold through tree branches. "Ethan." He looked up, seated on the faucet's edge. I looped my arms around his neck and kissed him exactly like our first time. Wind swept through my hair, mimicking his touch, that restless, radiant early summer breeze. He'd always been a quick study, mastering anything instantly. I'd only sought fleeting thrills back then. Yet through his earnest, burning devotion, I'd found myself. And through that devotion, he'd found his own truth. And